from South Africa. As the fight progresses, you can see that Peter Madsen wants this title. He's going forward all the time, throwing those punches, because he's got to take the fight to the champion. At the same time, the champion really is coming back, throwing his combination, tapping him with that over right hand.
Well, let's not forget, Dingon, Madsen is unbeaten, 14 fights, 14 wins, and really that says quite a lot for him. He's not going to lie down and die in this fight. He's not going to roll over and let Malinga walk all over him. He's throwing everything he can, and he really wants to take this title home. And there we see him coming forward, just throwing bombs with both hands.
Yeah, of course, he wants the title. He wants to be the champion. He's going to take the fight to the champion, which is Sugarboy Malinga. Of course, the experienced Sugarboy Malinga, a senior citizen. He's been in there for a very long time in boxing, and he knows what it takes, and he knows how to handle himself. As you see, he's just covered up, and when he's on the clinch, he throws those body punches, coming back with an over right hand.
One thing Madsen cannot afford to do is get careless in here. And there he lands a couple of very good right hands, but you get the impression Malinga's just watching and waiting. And when he sees a gap, believe me, he's going to take action. A very aggressive Madsen coming forward. Bobbing and weaving and really lying very heavily on that right hand of his. But Malinga sees it coming, and as we said earlier, he takes quite a lot of those blows on his left shoulder.
But Madsen hasn't given up. He continues throwing those punches, going forward. Even that left jab is really tapping him. But look at that body. What a good body punch from Madsen. Very good punch, but that really aggravated Sugarboy Malinga. That's why he came back very quick by throwing those good combinations. Look at that right hand. It missed, but though it was a very slicky right hand.
Well, he certainly impressed the crowd. We hear them chanting Madsen's name as he comes forward, and he's really taking this fight to Malinga in the fourth round, after what was a very good round for Malinga in the third. And really, Madsen is throwing everything into this fight. A very wild right hand, and then Malinga hits him on the break. Going to get another warning from the referee. I don't know how long he can afford to take these warnings, Dingo.
Yeah, of course, he must try and avoid those low blows, because, of course, the referee is now watching them with a very close eye to say he mustn't throw those low blows. So, but Sugarboy, he's a body puncher. That's what he does, and he uses his jab very effectively. Look at that right hand, very sharp shooting right hand, and he uses that jab at all times. Madsen counter-punching with that right hand. Madsen is there. He wants this title.
Oh, there we see Malinga shooting away with that right hand. Very good right hand to the side of Madsen's head, and there we saw him holding on for a minute as we come to the end of the fourth round. A bit of marking up under Madsen's right eye, and that's from those jabs that have kept thudding into his face. And that jab really is going to be the payoff punch for Malinga. And there we see a very bad cut on Madsen's right eyelid, Dingon. How much is that going to affect him?
Well, that's from a jab. You know, maybe the cut man can be very good to try and protect it from, you know, widening up all the time as the round progresses. But we'll see as the fight progresses that if Malinga is going to keep throwing that left jab. Let's look into the replay. Look at that uppercut from Malinga. Left hook, another right hand. You know, he keeps throwing those punches. But Madsen pounding with that body punches. Look at this 10 from Sugarboy Malinga. Very good 10s and good combination. Left hook from Malinga and Madsen. You know, this is a very busy fight indeed.
It's a very active fight indeed as we go into the fifth round, scheduled for 12, WBF super middleweight title. Malinga really not as flashy as his opponent is, but he's being much more effective, Dingon, switching his attack from the head to the body and back again. Not nearly as flashy, but definitely he's landing the harder, cleaner punches.
Well, another wake-up call from Malinga. A right hand tapped him right in the middle of his face, and that has made him to be very active and start throwing those body punches, start throwing that left hand and a jab. And you see that when he uses that jab, he follows it up by that right hand. And when he's in a clinch, he uses very good uppercut, and it gives him very active. Look at that uppercut, good right hand uppercut.
Well, we've got to wonder how much that body attack is having an effect on Peter Madsen, Dingon. He's never been beyond 8 rounds before. I don't think he really knows how to pace himself that long. And that body attack must be draining him and draining his strength from him as we go along.
Yeah, of course, he's fighting a senior citizen. And he although, you know, Madsen wants this title more than Sugar. Look at those body punches from Sugarboy Malinga. He really throws those body punches. He lets it flow, and is very awkward. Madsen cannot be able to nail him because when he's on the rope, he turns him around, and then he's on guard, comes back with that sharpshoot left, right hand.
I just get the impression that Madsen is tiring a bit. He's still walking after Malinga. He's still the aggressor, but to me, his punch rate has fallen off noticeably in this fight. And really, that cut over his eye must be affecting him. Those body shots must be affecting him. And I think he's starting to take a bit of a pounding, Dingon.
Definitely. He doesn't see that uppercut coming from Sugarboy Malinga. The right uppercut is really nailing him, because when he comes inside, then Sugarboy throws his uppercut and come back with a left hook. Throws those body punches which will eventually slow him down. As you see that he's trying very hard. Madsen, you cannot take anything away from him. He wants his title. He's there. But he's getting pounded because he allows Sugarboy to land his sharpshoot left-right hand.
Well, you can never give Sugarboy Malinga a moment's rest in the ring. Nothing at all, because he's going to come back at you. And there was a tremendous left-right combination that just smacked into the side of Madsen's face. Malinga followed it by a very good uppercut and then went to the body. What tremendous boxing from this man.
And he's very good from inside. As you see those uppercuts, he taps him with a jab. When he wants to relax a little bit, he's a very smart man. He's been long in the game. He knows what it takes. And he just jabs him in the clinch. He throws his uppercut and look at those uppercuts. Combination and right cross. He continues throwing those punches all the time, Andre.
Yeah, well, there we see Madsen's face is showing signs of wear and tear. Well, midway through the 5th round. Madsen, of course, only turned professional when he was 30. Not a very experienced man in professional terms. 14 fights. And there we come to the end of the 5th round. Another very good one for Sugarboy Malinga. Corner getting very agitated with Mads Larsen. But I think his face is really quite badly marked up, Dingon. He's got that cut on his right eyelid. And here we go, more action from the 6th round, and one wonders if Sugarboy can just carry it on from there.
And of course, you can see that he's picking up from where he left, using that left jab. Of course, he feels very comfortable in the clinch right now, because Madsen seems to be very open for his uppercut. And he throws him very well and uses his long jab. Look at that.
Well, whatever that was, that really unsettled Madsen, Dingon. He actually looked like he wanted to turn and walk away there for a moment.
Exactly, I saw that. I think it was a right hand, because Sugarboy keeps throwing those punches. He really doesn't stop to throw those punches. In the clinch, look at this body punch. What a very good body punch. Another uppercut. Sugarboy feels very comfortable right now with that right uppercut, because he sets him up and throws that uppercut. Look at that. In a clinch, he knows he's going to start with that right uppercut and then finish it off with, right cross and left hook.
Well, surely Madsen cannot take this kind of punishment for too much longer. Malinga is just blazing away with both hands, and he's hitting his opponent at will, and really Madsen doesn't know what to do. Tremendous combination from Sugarboy again. Left hand to the body, followed up by a right cross to the head, a jab. Anything he throws, Dingon, he's landing with.
Of course, he knows his way around. You can see that when he wants to take a breather, he just goes backward and then uses his jab to unsettle Madsen with that left jab. But the crowd is trying to cheer up Madsen to say, come up, try fighting, because they realize that Sugarboy Malinga is on top of him now, throwing all the punches, and Madsen is not doing anything to counter those punches.
Well, really, that's got to be the effect of those body blows earlier on. Madsen just seems to have been drained of all his energy, and he's not really able to throw anything back at Sugarboy at all. And there we see Sugarboy just carrying on, slamming away to the body.
Goodness me, that jab is very slick. Madsen just fall into it all the time. You can see there's a lot of evidence in his face. I mean, you can see that there's a lot of blood coming through his nose to show that jab is really nailing him all the time.
Tremendous punch for Sugarboy. Right from the very first minute of this fight, that jab has been effective. It's smacked into Madsen's face, and it's taken all his concentration off his attack. And there's a tremendous combination from Sugarboy again. And really, we can see from Madsen's punches, he's lost a lot of his power, he's lost a lot of his snap, and I think this looks like only a matter of time to me, Dingon.
Yeah, of course. He's trying very hard to come back and charge forward, but this man, he's a champion, and he knows that he wants to defend his title. He wants to go and fight for bigger, world title fights like the, WBO, WBF, and no, not WBF as such, but WBO, WBA, and WBC. He wants to fight for those world titles. And of course, he's defending his title today, and he wants to make sure, look at that, combinations throughout until end of the round.
You're watching Blow by Blow. We're coming back with more action just after the break.
They've taken our shirts, our razors. They've even taken our underwear. We don't wear their undies. Well, sometimes, but you know, just for fun. And they've moved in on our aftershave. But here's one that's definitely just for men. New Whitewater from Old Spice. It's fresh. No, fresher than that. That's it. Sharing's fine. But with aftershave, let's keep it his and hers.
I started boxing with a pair of gloves that were too big, and I went all the way to become world champion. Today, I'm a successful businessman, but I haven't forgotten my roots. I'm proud of my traditions, and one thing will always be part of my life, King Kong.
Ooh, King Kong, Tombomela, the heart and soul of Africa.
Call for the king.
Hey, call for the king.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
With over 500 hours of educational programs brought to you by SABC Television, our country's children will become brighter and more illuminated than ever before.
How I wonder,
bringing you education for Africa.
how I wonder what you are.
Well, yeah, we see some slow motion action from the sixth round. It doesn't really look slow motion to me. There we see Malinga with a tremendous right hand to the side of Madsen's face.
Well,
We can see.
Madsen is feeling the pressure because those uppercut from Sugarboy Malinga, trying very hard to unleash his own body punches. But Sugarboy Malinga counter punches very well and come back. As we, go into round 7 right now, and you can see that Madsen's face is feeling the heat now. You realize that this man can unload those uppercut, which is the right uppercut, and of course his jab is very slick.
Well, Madsen's made a good start to the 7th. He's come out much more aggressively. It was interesting to note towards the end of the 6th, for the first time in the fight, we had Sugarboy going forwards, and I think that's allowing him even to land more punches than he was earlier.
Yeah, of course, right now Sugarboy feels very comfortable in this later rounds, because now he can land his jab, at his own pace. And when he wants to throw those combinations, he throws them at his own time. And, he feels very comfortable. Madsen is allowing Sugarboy to be throwing every punch that he wants to throw, and he's landing.
Well, an absolutely remarkable performance from Sugarboy Malinga so far. He's famous for actually going to sleep in the middle of a fight. Tingani, his punch rate falls off. He does nothing. He seems to get bored in the middle of a fight, but certainly not in this one. And there we see that tremendous combination to head and body by Sugarboy Malinga. This is really a very, very good performance from him.
Oh, definitely it is. Look at that. He throws just about 10 to 15 punches before Madsen counter punches with his own punches. But he allows Sugarboy to be throwing those punches. He wants to come back with one big punch, of which he cannot land that big punch because Sugarboy is very slick. He's giving him a shoulder all the time, and when he's in the clinch, he loads it up. Look at those body punches. Sugarboy keeps loading those punches into Madsen's body.
He just never stops the Sugarboy. A tremendous work rate for a super middle, and never mind a super middle from 42 odd years old. A tremendous performance indeed. Madsen coming forward and really not effective at all. He's not landing that many punches, and when he does, they seem to have no effect on Sugarboy whatsoever. There we saw Sugarboy taking those punches and just waiting for a gap and counting with a right hand with a right hook to the jaw. Totally in control of this fight.
Oh, definitely he is totally in control of the fight. Although Madsen trying to come back. Look at that. He allows most of the punches that Sugarboy throws, he allows them to be landing. He's just opening up his face. Look at that. Sugarboy throws a jab and a right cross, another jab, just about 3-4 jabs that are landing, and a right hand to follow. And really is hitting him very hard, and he's feeling the pressure. He's trying to come back, trying to exchange blows with Sugarboy, but Sugarboy is very sleek because he gets out of the clinch, and then he follows up with an uppercut.
Well, vintage Sugarboy. Madsen threw 6 or 7 punches in a row there, and not one of them landed. Sugarboy ducked and dived and weaved his way out of that combination. Much more aggressive looking Madsen coming forward now, but he's really seemed to have lost a lot of his snap and a lot of his power.
Oh, definitely he has. As you see that he's no longer that aggressive like he was in the earlier rounds. He has faded away with time, and Sugarboy is taking advantage of that, coming back with those barrages of punches.
Well, a bit of a comeback by Madsen towards the end of that round, as it seemed to me that Sugarboy Malinga took a bit of a breather. Well, there we see the man sitting in his corner looking tremendously relaxed, as opposed to this corner. There we see the damage done to Madsen's face by that snapping jab of Sugarboy Malinga's. He looks like he's been in a car smash, Dingo.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of concern in his corner. You see that very silence right now. They're telling him the basics. They're no longer excited now, thinking that the man has been doing well, like in the first couple of rounds. But Sugarboy, very relaxed man in his corner, taking instruction, knowing exactly that he's doing exactly what he wants to do. Now coming up in round 8. And you see that Madsen trying to charge in, but there's no more zip in his punches, Andre.
Nothing at all. He looks like a tired man. He looks like he's taken a beating. And just to remind you, of course, this fight is scheduled for 12. It's not over. It has a long way to go if it's going to go the distance. So Madsen could find himself in a lot of trouble. He's definitely the aggressor. He's coming forward, but he's not looking happy, Dingon. Those punches seem to be hurting him much more than what they were earlier.
That jab, look at that right hand. Another right hand. Oh, goodness me. He's allowing Sugarboy to be throwing those right hand. And then when he's in the clinch, he throws very good right uppercut. That is really slowing down Madsen. Madsen is now flat-footed, right? He's charging in, charging forward to Sugarboy, very slow in a slow pace. Sugarboy pounding him with that uppercut.
Two wonderful uppercuts in a row, and we had Madsen holding on for dear life there. He really in a lot of trouble. Look at that left hook from Sugarboy, smacking into his head and just about taking his head right off his shoulders. There we saw Madsen once again make like he was going to turn away.
Well, as you see that Madsen now is feeling the pressure. It's very rare that we saw from the first round of this fight that Madsen take a back step. But now, right now, he is definitely taking a back step, feeling the heat that Sugarboy is throwing in combination, using that jab to set him up so that he can land his right hand.
Well, I think in plain and simple terms, Dingon, he's getting a hiding. Madsen he's on the end of a thrashing, and there's a tremendous combination from Malinga, and we wonder how long the Madsen can stay on his feet. 3 punches smacked into his head and had him staggering around the ring like a drunk man.
Oh, goodness me, that uppercut. It's been there all along, and he's been taking it very well. Right now, this is the later rounds of this fight. We're going for 12 rounds, but Madsen seems like he cannot take those combinations because right now, most of the punches that Sugarboy is throwing are really landing solidly in his face.
Well, no let up from Malinga either, Dingon. His punch rate is as high now as what it was in the earlier rounds. A truly remarkable performance as he walked in and landed a right-left combination. Madsen getting very wild with that right hand as he eats another uppercut. And there we see the agony on his face, Dingon. Those punches are really hurting him.
Oh, goodness, he's feeling the pressure now. And that's why he's trying to call for the referee to try and rescue him. But the referee is saying, well, carry on fighting. Look at those counter punches from Sugarboy. Another right hand, over right hand, uppercut. Goodness me, when Sugarboy is in the clinch, he throws those punches very well because he's catching Madsen with all those combinations. Uppercut and the left hook.
Well, a smashing uppercut from Malinga once again had Madsen, and there we see him floundering around the ring, hands at his sides. He's got nothing left in him whatsoever. And there we come to the end of the 8th round, by far the best round of the fight so far for Malinga.
Oh, yes, I fully agree with you, Andre. Malinga performed very well. He throws a lot of punches, and I'll believe that Madsen took a lot of punishment.
Well, he did, and there we see the referee asking Madsen whether, in fact, he wants to continue. Dingon, do you think he might give it up in the corner?
Well,
the corner are saying no. The corner are saying he's going to fight on again.
Yeah, of course, you know, the corners is going to be confident about it because they want to win the WBF world title. But the man who's feeling the heat is Peter Madsen. He's feeling the heat, and he's got to tell his corner if he doesn't want to go back. But anyway, we'll just hear as the round come in place again if we see that.
Well, there he said he wants to stop, Dingon. I think this fight is actually over as we see some slow motion from that last round. Look at that combination from Sugarboy Malinga. We believe this fight is over.
Oh, goodness me, I don't really blame him. He's a great athlete. He realized that he took a fight at short notice, number one. Number two, of course, is getting pounded by Sugarboy in the later rounds. Those uppercuts are really hurting him.
Well, a tremendous performance from Sugarboy Malinga, retaining his WBF super middleweight title for the first time.
Sugarboy Julian Malinga.
Well, there we saw a very depressed, beaten-looking challenger.
Well, a happy Sugarboy Malinga retained his WBF super middleweight title.